UFC 316, Dvalishvili versus O'Malley 2? Why are we giving a rematch to Sean O'Malley? First off. Second off, what is up with all these cancellations? Tadej Vozian got signed just to fail his physicals. Uros Medic withdrew from like a sinus infection. The GOAT! Shamil Gazia pulled out probably because he's modeling in Europe right now for like the cover of Vogue. Marlon Chito Vera got injured and Johnny Walker pulled out. A lot of crazy cancellations on this card, a lot of which had to do with Khaos Williams. We had a lot on the May 31st card, one of them being Andreas Gustafsson. He's now on this card. What is happening? MarQuel Mederos was on last week's card. Now they signed Mark Choinski to fight him. What are we doing? What are we doing? Can't we just have one sane week of the UFC for one time? For 1 week, maybe? Is that too much to ask? As a UFC fan, I mean, I'm just saying. But we're going to be predicting every single one of these fights. The enclosure is the octagon, says Tapology. No, Sherlock. But yeah, great card. Not really. It's not that good of a card. We got Joe Pyfer, Kelvin Gastelum on the main card. Vicente Luque, ranked 15th, versus Kevin Holland, unranked on the main card of a pay-per-view. 10th ranked Mario Bautista versus unranked Patchy Mix. Josh Van, Bruno Silva, Serghei, Spivac, Waldo, Cortes-Acosta, Azamat, Murzakanov. I mean, it's okay. It's a pay-per-view, though. Okay? I mean, UFC pay-per-views should have title fight, number one contender fight, or another title fight, top 5 versus somebody, top 10 versus somebody, and then another top 15 type of fight. Where Kelvin and Joe are unranked. What are we doing? All right, well, I'm stuttering now. Let's get into this full card prediction. Let's start with the newly added fight. I think it got added hours ago, so I literally just watched a few fights of Andreas and Khaos again, and I'm like, all right, how do their matchups play again? But I'm like, maybe it's going to get canceled by the time I start recording this freaking video. It hasn't yet. Andreas Gustafsson, Khaos Williams at 170 pounds. First off, height is the same. Reach, going Khaos Williams. Boxing, Khaos Williams. Jiu-jitsu. Neither guy is like a guy going out there to choke you out, but Andreas does have a few submissions. A long time ago, but he does have a few submissions. Rear naked choke and a shoulder lock. I'd have to give him a slight edge just because Khaos just isn't that type of guy. Wrestling advantage, Andreas Gustafsson. Clinch advantage, Andreas Gustafsson. Cardio, Andreas Gustafsson. Tapology predictions, I'm gonna guess, no predictions have been made, I'm gonna guess they're gonna go Khaos Williams, as the betting odds already are going on towards Khaos Williams to win this fight. But when I was doing my fight research, when I was watching both of these guys' fights, I didn't see any betting odds. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to predict this fight based on what I know. I swear I just saw it. I swear. Somebody find it for me. Khaos Williams was like a 2.5 to 1 favorite over Andreas Gustafsson. I disagree. I have Andreas Gustafsson winning this fight. He is better cardio, better wrestling, better grappling, better clinch work and things like that. And he's a neo-Nazi. I mean, that's just a plus. Not personally. Personally, that's not a good thing for him. But when you're in the octagon, that level of hatred has to translate towards, some violent action. I mean, he's going to be violent in there. So I do think Andreas Gustafsson's going to do kind of what he always does. Khaos Williams trying to stay at range, use that reach, pop that jab out that 1-2, and look for a big, powerful right hand. Andreas is going to boom, 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 boom. Get in there, get that body like knee, elbow, body, and wear on Khaos Williams. If Khaos is going to win a round, it'll be round 1. After that, round 2, round 3 are going to go Andreas Gustafsson. They are going to go Andreas Gustafsson. He's coming off a round 2 finish, a round 1 finish, and another round 2 finish. Ladies and gentlemen, this guy's a finisher. All of his wins, except for just one, have come by finish. The only decision was, 5-6 years ago? So I'm going to go out and kind of on a limb here. Again, when I first saw this fight, I was like, maybe Andreas can finish him, but I wasn't confident because, again, he has been finished, but it's only once. It's only once, and is by a guy that's about to fight inside of the top 15 in Gabriel Bonfim. I'm going to go Andreas Gustafsson to win this fight, and I'm not going to go by finish, ladies and gentlemen. I'm thinking if it is, it's going to be middle to end of round 3. It's going to be really, really late, and it's going to be because of a cut and a lot of constant pressure and ground and pound, and the ref just says, no more, this fight is over. I don't see it being a submission. I don't see it being a actual knockout. I do see if there's a finish, it to be very late, and it to involve blood, it to involve ground and pound, and it to involve cardio and pace put on Andreas Gustafsson. I said that wrong. Andreas Gustafsson's cardio and pace put on Khaos Williams. Ladies and gentlemen, should be a great fight. In the welterweight division, again, it's short notice. Neither guy's preparing for the other guy. They have days, basically, like a week to prepare. So we'll see what happens. I got Gustafsson, Bane, winning this fight by 29-28 decision. I'm praying, man, for that third round finish, though. MarQuel, Mederos, and Choinski? It's a weird name. 8-0, 29 years old, and 10-1, 28 years old. So both similar records. Both, again, very experienced. Not very experienced, but pretty experienced. MarQuel did lose one fight, split decision a few years back, but has been on a tear since then. Round 1 knockout, beat a 5-0 guy. Round 3 knockout, unanimous decision. Round 1 knockout on the Contender Series, and then 2 decisions in the UFC over. Well, let's just check. Landon Quinones. What's his UFC record? It's 0-2. And he lost on Dana White's Contender Series. Or not Dana White's, on The Ultimate Fighter. Austin Hubbard. What is his UFC record? 4-7. He's 1-3 in his last 4 in the UFC. Didn't even win The Ultimate Fighter. I don't know. It just seems like, again, he beat Landon Quinones, not that good of a guy. I'll be straight up with you guys. And he beat Austin Hubbard, but he didn't look good doing it. He really didn't look good doing it. He won a split decision. He gassed out quite a bit in that fight. Got taken down a few times as well. Couldn't really get up. Got back up on a few of them. Was able to land some strikes and make up for it a little bit and win the very close decision. Was supposed to fight Balaji. I would have probably gone for Balaji to win that fight. He was a slight underdog over Oki. Now he's fighting Mark Choinski. I don't think there's actually any odds for this one yet because it literally, again, just got announced earlier today. There might be, maybe. You never know. No, I don't see anything. Oh, it's on 316. That's why I'm stupid. Damn, the Khaos Williams, Andreas Gustafsson odds. There they are. And then, let's see. Do they have this one yet? No, that's weird. They do not have the odds for this fight just yet. But I am assuming Marco Mederos is going to be a slight favorite. A slight. He's taller. He's lengthier. He's got that UFC experience. Mark's taking it on short notice, even though he was training for a fight before then against Zach Zane on June 15th. So he still has a camp and things like that. I still think the odds and the people will probably go Marco Mederos as the favorite. I'm gonna go Mark Choinski. I think he's the better wrestler. He's the better grappler. And his striking isn't horrible. I give a slight edge to Marco Mederos. I don't like Mark's striking. Like, I don't think if this is a 3-round striking affair that Mark is going to win. But I don't think it's that bad to where MarQuel is going to just dominate in there. And I think Mark's takedowns and ground and pound, which he does very well, getting space and landing punches and elbows on top, going for some submissions. He does have a few submissions on his record. I don't think he gets that. I think this is going to be a decision. But that last fight for Marco Mederos against Austin Hubbard, not making me confident at all. Again, he's got a lot of submissions, rear nakeds, arm bars, arm triangles, and things like that. I don't think he gets one here on MarQuel. See this fight going all the way, similar to that last one. MarQuel maybe winning round 1. Mark getting a takedown in round 2, gassing out the body of Marco Mederos, and MarQuel just can't really recover. Can't really come back after that. So I got Mark Choinski winning this fight. Let's go unanimous decision. It's possible another split for MarQuel, but we shall see. Mark Choinski, unanimous decision. Quillan Salkilld taking on Yanal Ashmouz in the lightweight division, 25 years old, very young. Very young for the lightweight prospect, 6 feet tall, 75-inch reach, taking on a much smaller man, 5 feet, 9 inches tall, 68-inch reach, but that has not stopped him yet inside of the UFC. It has stopped him one time. Chris Duncan, okay? But against tall opponents is what I'm saying. Sam Patterson, when he fought him, that guy is tall as heck. He's killing it in the UFC welterweight division. Yanal was able to move, get inside and land a bomb on Sam Patterson and knock him out. Could do the very well same against Quillan Salkilld here, but I think he's got to do not the Sam Patterson approach, but the Trevor Peak approach, where he's going to go out there, keep it even on the feet, and mix in those takedowns. Do I think it'll work? No, I don't. I think Yanal is going to walk into a lot of punches from Quillan. Quillan is fast, and he's long, and he's tall. And I do think if he's going to get past the punches of Quillan, he might get to the body, he might get to a leg, but he's going to eat punches coming in. So even if he survives to a decision and he gets those takedowns, he's going to suffer going for the takedowns, and the judges are still going to give it to Quillan Salkilld because he is landing the more effective strikes. I am going to go Quillan Salkilld to win this fight. He just beat one of the greatest to ever do it in Ansel Jubilee. So I mean, if he can beat a guy of that caliber, the greatest Indian MMA fighter of all time. I mean, we have guys like John Jones, who's the greatest American fighter of all time. Well, India is a bigger country. Ansel Jubilee is the best Indian MMA fighter ever. John Jones, the best American fighter ever. Look at the country size. So Ansel Jubilee is better because he is the better fighter in a better country, a bigger country. Quillan Salkilld knocked that guy out. The best, the greatest, the Ansel Jubilee. And Yanal Ashmouz, not on that level. You're not on the level of Ansel. So I'm going to go Quillan Salkilld. I'm not going to say Quillan by knockout here, even though he knocked out the GOAT. Yanal's a hard guy to finish. And Ansel's the GOAT, but the GOAT has been slayed, and the neck has been cut off, and no more India. But Yanal's neck hasn't been cut off, because he hasn't been knocked out yet. So I'm going to go Yanal Ashmouz to lose this fight by unanimous decision. Yanal Ashmouz, 29-28, 29-28. 30-27, Quillan Salkilld. Azamat Murzakanov taking on Brendson Ribeiro in the light heavyweight division. Short notice, Brendson stepping up, taking on Azamat for Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker is being moved to the UFC Shanghai China card on August 23rd, I think. Correct me down in the comment section. Brendson Ribeiro coming off 2 wins in the UFC. Before that, 2 losses in the UFC. Taming Yang and Magomed Gadzhiazulov, who's not in the UFC. He got out-wrestled by Magomed, and he got knocked out by Ming Yang Zhang. He was able to beat a guy that's not in the UFC anymore, Caio Machado, and submit Dr. Nirgoshai, which is a very solid win. And got a win over Bruno Lopez. Pretty fluke win, but a win nonetheless. So he showed some good grappling and wrestling in the Dr. Nirgoshai fight. Showed some good striking in the Caio fight, although I didn't like it. I thought he arguably could have lost, but he knocked out Bruno Lopez as well. So it's not like he's a slouch. It's not like he's a nobody stepping up to fight Azamat. It's not like these should be as wide as they are. 95% going Azamat to win this. I think that's a little much. Brendison's a lot taller, a lot lengthier. That's kind of the same for a lot of Azamat's fights. He's very short and compact. For the light heavyweight division, his reach just is not there. But his technique and his skill to get inside the pocket and use that technical formula of striking from New Jersey. He's in New Jersey. I don't know. You might think he's from Dagestan, but he's a striker. He's developed in the United States as a very, very good technical striker. I think Brendson Ribeiro is going to go out there hunting for the knockout. He didn't have a full camp for this fight. He's going to go out there, a little wild, a little reckless, looking to crack Azamat Murzakanov, the undefeated fighter, and knock him out. Azamat's going to play technical. He's going to get hit with a few shots, but he's going to learn the pace and the pressure of Brendson Ribeiro, learn how Brendson fights, and he's going to counter it while he comes in. Azamat Murzakanov is going to move out of the way, pop him with a big right hand. Brendison's going to be doing the chicken dance. Brendison's back is to the cage. Azamat comes forward, body, goes up for the left hook, uppercut overhand right, left hook, ground and pound, and Azamat Murzakanov gets the knockout. And that's in round 2. Okay, I didn't even say that. Brendson Ribeiro technically is not as good, but I think round 1 is going to be like that Piotr Yan feeling out round, where Brendson Ribeiro is going to win. Round 1, he's going to win. Everyone's going to be like, the 5-1 favorite is losing, the undefeated. And then round 2, we're going to be like, oh, Azamat's just figuring out the range. And he closes distance. Bop, bop, bop. Nani waddled around, waddle, waddle. And then Brendson Ribeiro, bop, bop, bop. To the floor, Azamat Murzakanov, KO TKO round 2. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great fight. Jeka Saragih and Juseng Yu in the UFC featherweight division. 30 years old, 31 years old. I don't know why there's no weights for Juseng Yu. They just don't calculate it over there. In North Korea, they don't even have his reach, which I find a little bit interesting. But he's a little bit taller than Jeka Saragih. Jeka is 1-2 in the UFC. Beat Lucas Alexander, who I don't think is in the UFC anymore, but he might be. Anshu Jubli, again, one of the greatest to ever do it. The best Indian ever. He got knocked out by him. That's why he's so good. He beat Jeka Saragih. And then he lost to Weston Wilson by submission. That was about a year ago. So it is interesting how active or lack thereof that Jeka has been inside of the UFC. I do think Juseng Yu is the better striker. Jeka Saragih is pretty powerful. He's got some good hands. But I do think Ju is just better. He's a better counterpuncher. He's going to be kind of looking at Jeka, baiting him, going out, going in, popping his jab, popping his right hand. Whenever they do get in that clinch, because Jeka's going to come forward. Ju's going to land those good knees to the body. He's got good calf kicks at range. I think Juseng Yu is just going to pick him apart. I think he's going to calf kick at range, walk him into a lot of jabs and 1-2s. And eventually Jeka Saragih is going to try to go in, big punches. And Juseng Yu is going to Conor McGregor it. Bop, but he's going to be righty, of course. Bop, bow, and knock out Jeka Saragih. I don't think it's going to be a one punch. I think it's going to catch him going out. Jeka's coming in, and he's going to come back with something right on Jeka's chin, knock him down. Ju's going to hit him again, get him to the cage, bow, bow, body shot, one more headshot. He's going to drop, and he's going to go hammer fist, hammer fist, hammer fist. He's going to contemplate going for a submission. He's not going to do it. He's going to keep ground and pounding, and that's going to be in round number 2 as well. Juseng Yu, round 2 or end of round 1. Round 2 or end of round 1. Juseng Yu, TKO. Serghei Spivac and Waldo Cortes-Acosta. 3 names. In the UFC heavyweight division, 6 feet 4 inches tall, 6 feet 3 inches tall. Pretty similar. Reach is the same. Weight, Serghei is not a guy that cuts to heavyweight. I don't think Waldo cuts because he weighed 261. But maybe? I don't know. I don't think he cuts. I really don't. So neither guy I don't think cuts, but there's a big size advantage for Waldo Cortes-Acosta. Of course, he's going to be hitting a lot harder than Serghei, even though he doesn't really hit that hard anyway. Doesn't really have a lot of knockout wins on his record. Robelis de Spain, Andreas Lipski, Lucas Brzezinski, a lot of decisions before that. Inside of the UFC, was able to knock out Lucas. Lucas doesn't really have a chin, and Ryan Spann also doesn't really have a chin. But there's still that chance, of course. That Waldo could go out there and knock out Serghei Spivac. Do I see that happening? No. Waldo got out-wrestled, and mind you, it was a long time ago. All right, it was Marcos Rogerio de Lima 2 years ago. That's a big boy as well, 265-pound guy. I think Marcos cuts to make the heavyweight division. Serghei's, I would say, better technically than Marcos Rogerio de Lima, but like better submission-wise, better technique, but he's not as big, he's not as physical, he's not as strong. So I have worry for Serghei. I think it's going to be either way. Here we go. Round 1 knockout for Waldo Cortes-Acosta, like Cyril Gane did in France, but I think that was a little bit later. I think that was a round 2, round 3 knockout, but round 1 knockout for Waldo, or round 2, Serghei Spivac figures out that range as Salsa Boy throws that big right hand. Serghei gets inside, gets the body lock, gets him to the cage, and starts working trips Waldo, and I think we get a round 2 ground and pound TKO or submission from Serghei Spivac. So one or the other there. Serghei Spivac can submit Marcin Tybura. If he can submit Derek Lewis, TKO Augusto Sakai, only losing to Gane and Jailton Almeida, I think he wins this fight. I really, really do. He's looking good for a few moments in that fight with Jailton Almeida. I really thought he did some good work in that fight. But he got caught at the end of it because Jailton is the more athletic and explosive type of guy. I think he's going to submit or ground and pound TKO Waldo Cortes in round number 2. Again, it's either a round 1 finish for Waldo or a round 2 finish for Serghei. I'm going to go Serghei in this heavyweight fight. Cong, Wang, and Ariane Lipski da Silva in the UFC women's flyweight division. Height is going to be the same. Reach is basically the same. Age, actually going Ariane Lipski, which I do find very interesting. She beat JJ Aldrich, who is ranked. Melissa Gatto, who is, I think, now a bantamweight. And she beat Casey O'Neill by finish, who is currently ranked as well. Lost to Karine Silva, who I believe is top 10, and Jasmine Jaslavicius, who I believe is top 6, 7, 8, something like that. So legit girls she's losing to, and she's beating some good girls as well. She's got the better wins than Cong Wang and the better losses than Cong Wang. Yanal Wu, former UFC fighter, Paula Luna by submission, Victoria Leonardo, and then Bruno Brazil losing to Gabriel Fernandez in a fight she was winning. She got clubbed and subbed. Pretty fluke if they do rematch her with Gabriella. I do think Cong Wang wins, but it is interesting to see that as if the fight does get to the ground, Ariane could definitely snatch up a submission. She's not a shabby girl when it comes to the grappling, but Cong is actually good. I really do think a lot of that loss had to do with her being rocked. It's a club and sub for a reason. If, Gabriella had her back just normally, didn't rock or anything, I don't think she's choking out Cong Wang. But I digress. Oh my God, I can't even speak right now, ladies and gentlemen. I think Cong Wang is going to defend the takedowns of Ariane da Silva, if there are any. Sometimes she does like to strike, but I think her definite best path to victory here is to go out and try to take down Cong Wang. She is 6-7 in the UFC, has been TKO'd a lot. Antonina Shevchenko, Montana De La Rosa, and Priscilla Cachoeira. She lost to Molly McCann quite a while ago, but again, she can get that fluke submission every now and then. She can get those takedowns. She can have some good striking like we saw in the Mandy Bone fight. An armbar popped up every now and then, so every now and then she is very legit, but I do think Cong Wang slightly out edges her on the feet. Ariane attempts a few takedowns, which Cong defends. I'm going to go Cong Wang 29-28 in the flyweight division. Bruno Silva and Joshua Van in the flyweight division. I'm going to go the much, oh my God, younger Joshua Van here. 23 and a half years old to 35 years old. Height advantage going Joshua. Reach going Bruno, but again, not much at all. Josh is from Myanmar. Bruno is from Brazil. It's a great fight. This is a great fight. Bruno, we might be like, oh, he's washed. He lost to Manel Kape. Manel's legit. Manel is legit. But so is Josh Van. Before that loss, Bruno Silva looked really good. 4 finishes, I think maybe 5. But I know for sure 4. JP Buys, knockout. Victor Rodriguez, knockout. Tyson Am clubbed him, hurt him a little bit, got his back, choked him out. And then he beat Cody Durden. He was losing that fight. I think he got hurt. And then he caught him with an uppercut. A lot of ground and pound and got that TKO. But Bruno's not winning this fight unless he grapples. I think if it's a 3-round straight up striking affair, 29-28 Josh Van, or a knockout for Josh Van. Legitimately, I think so. But if Bruno wrestles and grapples and has success there, I don't think he submits Josh, but I think he can win a 29-28 split decision, a close decision. But I don't think he will. I think he will try to wrestle at some point in this fight. I don't think it's going to be successful. Josh is extremely active. He's been fighting a lot recently. Lost to Charles Johnson 10 months ago and has had 3 wins since. In Mexico against Edgar Chairez, Cody Durden, and then he beat Rey Soruya. Now he's fighting Bruno Silva. I think he wins this fight. I think he gets the decision. I'm praying for a knockout because, again, I want finishes. I want the excitement. But I think Joshua Van goes out there and hurts him a few times. Bruno survives by wrestling and grappling. And Josh just outboxes for the win here. Bruno is a good boxer in his own right. He's got a okay kicking game. But he needs to wrestle. He needs to grapple. But I don't think it'll be enough. I'm going to go Josh Van. Unanimous decision. 30-27, 30-27, and one lone 29-28 in a close round 1. Mario Bautista and Patchy Mix in the bantamweight division. Pretty similar age. Height and reach going to Patchy Mix there. Record going to Patchy Mix. He's got more experience against great competition over in Bellator. This is his UFC debut. Beat former UFC title challenger Kyoji Horiguchi very dominantly, submitted Magomedov, who has a win over Piotr Yan. He beat Rafael Stotts, who had a good fight with Dvalishvili many years ago. He finished that guy easily. And he beat Sergio Pettis, former UFC fighter, by submission. And he had a really close fight with Magomedov. He cleaned out the Bellator bantamweight division. He's got amazing grappling, amazing wrestling. Is basically a little bit of a kryptonite to a Dvalishvili, as he has the ability to defend Merab's takedowns and keep the fight on the feet and possibly outstrike him with that height, with that reach, make it very even. I think if Patchy and Merab fight, Patchy's got a very good shot of winning that fight, but that's not who he's fighting. He is fighting Mario Bautista. Ladies and gentlemen, Mario's on a great win streak at the moment. Lost to Trevin Jones a few years back, but has been on a streak since then. Beat Jay Perrin, no longer in the UFC. Submitted Brian Kelleher, no longer in the UFC. Submitted Benito Lopez, no longer in the UFC. Submitted Guido Ganetti, no longer in the UFC. Beat Damone Blackshear in a fight. A lot of people thought Damone Blackshear actually did enough to win that fight. Damone landed quite a few takedowns in that matchup as well. Solid win, though. I mean, except for the fact that a lot of people thought he lost. Ricky Simone, that was a good win. Solid, good striking in that fight. And then he beat Jose Aldo by hugging him. I don't know. I did see a lot to worry me in that Damone Blackshear fight. And for that reason alone, I think if it's a striking match alone, I still think it's really close and could honestly go either way. Neither guy is crazy good at kickboxing or Muay Thai. So I think if it stays on the feet for 3 rounds, yeah, I probably flip a coin. But Patchy mix, I think is going to mix in those takedowns. I really do. And main card, UFC 316 in Newark, New Jersey. I think Patchy's going to get the finish. I really do. I think round 2, round 3, they're going to be striking a little bit. He's going to get that body lock, hop onto that back, work his way to that position, and I think he's going to slowly work. It's going to be like a lot of oohs and ahs, and then boom. Patchy's going to sink it in under the chin, squeeze the life out of Mario Bautista. It's a good fight. It's a very technical fight. I don't think it's going to be exciting, though. I don't. Weirdly enough, I don't expect this fight to be exciting. Expect round 1 to be very technical striking. Patchy finding range to get inside for that takedown. And then round 2, of course, Patchy get in the back and choking out Mario Bautista. I'm going to go Patchy makes round 2 submission. Kevin Holland and Vicente Luque in the welterweight division. Kevin Holland, grappling-wise, they're both pretty even. I don't think Vicente is like the best grappler ever. They both have similar moves, the dart stroke, the anacondas, and things like that. But neither guy is going to be dumb enough to shoot a takedown on the other guy, knowing that they're going to go for the chokes and things like that, and they're going to elbow them, and they're going to knee them and things. This is not going to be a grappling fight. If either one of them shoots a takedown, what are we doing? It's going to be a striking match for sure. Height, 4 inches going Kevin Holland. Reach, 5 inches going Kevin Holland. He's faster. I think at this point, he hits harder than Vicente Luque as well. I think Vicente Luque is going to go out there trying to close that distance, get inside, land those bombs. But Kevin's just going to keep jabbing him 1-2 and him, kicking him out range. I expect a good fight. Vicente's come forward nature to him is going to make this a fun fight. I'm going to go Kevin Holland, 29-28, 29-28, 30-27. Unanimous decision. Just stay in that range and pop in Vicente Luque constantly with kicks and jabs, and with that backing up, jab, leg kick, boom, moving, jab, moving, leg kick, 1-2, boom, uppercut, boom, and just mixing that in. Kevin Holland by decision. Good fight though. Joe Pyfer versus Kelvin Gastelum in the middleweight division. Age, going Joe Pyfer. Height, significantly going Joe Pyfer by 5 inches. Reach, going Joe Pyfer by 3.5 inches. Experience, going Kelvin Gastelum. Chin, going Kelvin Gastelum. Power, going Joe Pyfer. Grappling, going Joe Pyfer. Size, going Joe Pyfer. Muscle, going Joe Pyfer. Cardio, it could go either way. I think Joe Pyfer is perfectly adequate. 3-round cardio. Kelvin is moving back up to middleweight, though. He's a little bit fatter, a little bit chubbier. We'll see what that cardio is going to look like. But I got Joe Pyfer winning this one. I think round 1, Joe's going to strike with him. He's going to figure out that range, really frustrate Kelvin with that range, and land some good punches on Kelvin and hurt him a few times. And he's going to be like, oh, I got to be patient, though. I got to be patient. And he's going to show some maturity and be patient, not really go all in for that finish on Kelvin Gastelum. Round 2, Kelvin's going to come in. He's going to be like, okay, he didn't go for the finish last time. I'm going to come in. He's going to come forward on Joe Pyfer. Joe's going to jab him to him, and he's going to level change. He's going to fake those a little bit. And then eventually he's going to land one of those, get the takedown, get on top of Kelvin, and he's going to land big, big ground and pound shots. He's going to give his back. Joe's going to ground and pound a little bit. Kelvin's going to give him right back into side control, where Joe Pyfer's going to land that arm triangle. He's going to squeeze it. He's going to squeeze it. And Kelvin's going to slowly raise his hand. Slowly, we're going to see the light. And he's going to tap, tap, tap. And Joe Pyfer, round 2, round 3, arm triangle choke submission. Ladies and gentlemen, you got the one against Abdul Razak Al Hassan. Don't really have that many other submission wins. He had 2 in 2019 and 2018. Kelvin's not a guy you're going to knock out. I really do think he's going to hurt him on the feet a little bit. It's going to make both of them, or it's going to make Kelvin want to disengage a little bit for a while, and then he's going to realize, oh, I'm down on the scorecard. Come forward. Boom, takedown from Joe Pyfer, and the submission. Joe Pyfer, round 2, round 3, arm triangle choke. Kayla Harrison and Juliana Pena in the women's bantamweight division, 34 and 35, 2 old girls in the UFC. Height, going Kayla. Reach, actually going Juliana. I didn't know that she had that kind of reach on her. Kind of crazy, actually. Kayla's reach, not really that good, but it doesn't really matter too much. She just needs to wrestle. She just needs to grapple. Amanda Nunes was able to take down Juliana Pena plenty of times in her loss, unanimously, 50-40 billion. She was able to knock down Juliana like 1,000 times, take her down a few times as well. Kayla's not going to really have that ability to knock down Juliana Pena or anything like that. But if Amanda Nunes is able to get takedowns on Pena, I think Kayla should be able to. I think Kayla gets the takedown in round 1. Juliana survives. Round 2, Juliana's going to have some success on the feet. She's going to stuff one of Kayla's takedowns, get away. We're going to be like, oh, the tides are turning. Kayla's going to get another takedown, control that, land some good ground and pound, go for a submission. Round 3, Juliana's really, really going to start to take away with the striking. She lost round 1, lost round 2. She really needs to do something, and she is looking good in round 3 because she's got that heart, she's got that warrior spirit, she's got that cardio. Juliana starts looking really, really good in round number 3, and then at the end of round number 3, Kayla gets a takedown, gets on top, gets full mount, starts landing big elbows, bombs, cuts open Juliana Pena. Juliana Pena gives her back. Kayla gets a rear naked choke. Round 3, Kayla Harrison, rear naked choke submission. Merab Dvalishvili and Sugar Sean O'Malley, Dana White's privileged boy, at UFC 316. I'm gonna go with, y'all aren't gonna like it, I'm gonna go Sugar Sean. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna go Merab. But I think it's a lot closer than many people think. 80%, a little much. Sean had some success last fight. Let's all recognize he did. Okay? Let's all recognize Sean O'Malley had some success in the last fight. Do I think he wins? No. Do I think he's got a great shot? For sure. More power. He hits harder. I just said that. It's the exact same meaning. But Merab, again, he landed takedowns in the last fight. Sean was able to get up on a few of them, stay at range, land the powerful punches, and at times make me kind of consider that Merab's not really doing anything on the ground. Not really landing crazy ground and pound. Not really going for any submissions. So I'm like, if any of these rounds, Sean O'Malley has a great first 2 minutes, and lands a good punch, and Merab gets the takedown and doesn't land any ground and pound, doesn't go for a submission, I think they should give that to O'Malley. And I think they could give that to O'Malley. I think this fight's going to be a lot closer than their first fight. A lot closer than their first fight. For that reason, again, taller, lengthier is Sean O'Malley. If he's able to defend the takedowns for just long enough to land significant enough damage to outweigh the judges' criteria on the takedown of Merab Dvalishvili and some pitter-patter shots, I think there's a very good possibility Sean O'Malley wins this fight. Merab needs to have more emphasis on actual effective ground and pound, and a few submission attempts, my guy. I think he went for the guillotine last fight. That's about it. But he's got to go for something this fight. Like, come on. I'm going to go Merab Dvalishvili. A lot closer than last time. Last time I think it was a 49-46. I'm going to go Merab. And I'm going to go Merab 48-47. I think one of the judges is going to give it to O'Malley based on landing the more powerful shots. But I think the other two are going to give it to Merab. So I'm going to go split decision here. Merab Dvalishvili. Those are my full card predictions. I'm going to go with Merab Dvalishvili by decision. Kayla Harrison by submission. Joe Pyfer by submission. Kevin Holland by decision. Patchy Mix by submission. Josh Van by decision. Cong Wang by decision. Serghei Spivac by TKO, ground and pound, or submission in round 2. Ju Seng Yu by knockout in round 2 or round 1. Azamat Murzakanov by knockout in round 2. Quillan Salkilld by decision. Choinski by decision. And Andreas Gustafsson by decision. We got finishes in Azamat Murzakanov, Ju Seng Yu, Serghei Spivac, Patchy Mix, Joe Pyfer, and Kayla Harrison. So about half and half on finishes and decisions. In terms of underdogs, Tapology-wise, we got Gustafsson. We got Choinski. That's 2 underdogs right off the bat. Let's see if we got any more. Cong Wang, Van, Mix, Holland, Pyfer, Harrison, Dvalishvili. Yeah, that's about it. Just those two. Gustafsson and Choinski. We shall see if any of these ones become betting underdogs, because sometimes that happens. But as of now, only 2 dogs on the card. We'll see what happens. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe. See you in the next one.